everybody. Welcome to episode 204 of Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Mike, we're coming off a couple of losses for the Wingdings. We just had a huge win, though. I would say if you're a Detroit sports fan, because we just watched our boy Matthew Stafford, who, when this show started, we were called 75 and Woodward, and we were the Stafford Slappy Show. Had plans to do a 12-hour live stream for the emergency broadcast for whenever Stafford got his giant contract. I don't know if you remember those days, Mike. It was way back. Ways back.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were the early days of this podcast. That was before Mike's time. So this is still, it was still a shared, I think, mindset was to celebrate ye old Stafford. So I'd say, we're pretty happy right now, despite a couple of bad games for the Wingdings. So we wanted to have some fun, because the last thing we want to do is have another episode where we dwell on the obvious.
Wait, you mean we still don't have a second, third, and fourth line? Oh, and we have maybe 2 out of 6 defensemen.
The second line is starting to make itself.
I know they weren't that bad,
fun.
But we're just the most 500 team of all time. This is a road game against a more talented team. I'm talking about the Predators game, and we went 0 for 5 on the PP, and that's kind of been our specialty.
Ooh, nice rhyme.
Yeah, thank you. And we did outshoot somebody, which is nice, but didn't really amount to any goals. And we got one by the Earn Man. I think he's on like a 20-game goalless streak, something like that. So good for you, Ernie, off the schneid. Woohoo! But we still lost.
Do we care enough do we want to share that?
What?
Share like enough highlights.
Share an Ernie goal? I mean, we might not see one for another 20 games. So if you want to have another shooting star here as it, passes by the Earth's gravitational pull, we won't see it for another millennia.
It was like the one thing to come out of this game, and I think the one this is
2 things to come out of this game. We also got another monster, Moritz Seider, ending somebody with a power move, where somebody comes in to deck him, and he just kind of stands up like a German wall, and bam, knocks him to the ice.
Well, the important thing about this, and this is pointed out to us by a friend of the show, Jared Shaw. This is the start of our little replay here. Mark Stahl's going to get the puck here, Mike, and he's the one that starts all this. So he's the one that's making the pass, as you can see if I can get my little mouse around Stahly boy there. Stahly's going to bank one up here, up to Bertuzzi, and that's where Tuzzi sees Adam Ernie for the breakaway. I honestly sat down, and that's when they scored this goal. So this is when I turned on my laptop, Mike, was right about here.
Oh, wow. What a time to turn on the laptop.
Yes, and I mean the replay was playing. So I didn't even know that stall pass happened. So thanks to our boy, Jared, who told me to look that sucker up, because that was what started it all. So Ernie goes in, scores. We all know how the rest of the game
is that the second time in 3 games that Bertuzzi gets one of those catching a pass for a guy coming out of the penalty box for an assist?
Yes, it's one of the things we've been ragging on Tuzzi all year for, having great stats because of his, 60% shooting percentage. But, I mean, those are the jokes we make. But, yeah, Tuz is legit. I mean, we're not, we joke around with him probably because, we're mad at him for other things. But, yeah, we've got a legit first-line winger in the Tuzzi. And that's where last week when we were trading him away for Draisaitl, it was probably if Canada, and its border restrictions didn't come into play, we'd have a legit shot. We have a real name we'd want to throw out there to bring in Dry. But again, the thing I wanted to point out, boom, this Mark Stahl pass, getting it going, and then of course Ernie finishing it off, and he's a happy boy. All right, so there's your one highlight from the last game. Jared coming in. He's been late on the last couple of episodes, but of course I'm here to praise him. So there he is. Thanks, Jared.
Time of Jared. Yeah. I want to miss that. But yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if you want to dwell too much on this, but I know you had kind of a fun topic because local legend Matthew Stafford is one game away from being his first season away from the Lions, and he's one game away from being in the Super Bowl. Pretty stunning stuff. Yeah.
It's a good tease for the next segment because I don't know if we can get a full half hour out of it. let me also talk about our boy Brad Lambert, where I just finally learned.
Confirmed. It's not Lambert. It is Lambert.
Why don't I look that up? Brad Lambert. I've been calling him Lambert because that sounds so much better. It's like Stephen Colbert. I thought that was the game we were playing.
It sounds a little more like a hockey name to be Lambert, I think.
Right. He's our Finnish forward that I call him a forward because he's been playing both center and wing. We, of course, have been looking for center on this team. If we want to say we're looking for our second line center, if we're for sure good on Dylan Larkin, or if we just want to shore up the first line even further and grab a first line center for the future. That's where our eyes first were drawn to Brad. But huge update, Mike, on what's been going on with Brad, because you can kind of see here, if I can highlight the 2021-22 statistics so far. Sure, one game under 20, that's fine, the under 20 league. 24 games in the Liga for JYP. Mike, now he's played 2 games for the Pelicans, and it's pretty clear why. Our boy Brad's getting overshadowed on the JYP here, and I hope this will actually follow along if I click on the JYP. There it is. Another hopeful this year to be drafted early on, Joakim Kemmel. We've talked about him already, and I believe he's number 1 on the Central Scouting's ranking of all international players. 18 points in 21 games. But if I scroll back here to Brad, he's moving on because even though he denies it, clearly he doesn't think he's getting the opportunities that Kemmel's getting. And Mike, I bring this up because we're so dead set on drafting Brad. His draft stock is certainly falling after this, and our chances of picking him up are going up.
You know what, man? You know what? I disagree. What's going on is Kemmel, he's getting treated like Lucas Raymond, and Lambert is the Veleno. When is he going to get a chance, Matt? Kidding, of course. Tongue in cheek.
Yep. The problem is...
There was a debate we pretended to have like a week ago where people said Veleno was on the same level as Luke. Right. Not like statistically or eyeball testily.
Testily, I believe. Yeah.
Testily. Yeah.
Testically.
Submitting that to the Midnight Society at the Merriam-Webster folks. But anyway, not true. But yeah, a bittersweet piece of news if Lambert does end up dropping because he's not scoring. But at least we'd get to try him out. Yes.
Yeah, and the one argument to still give it a shot is that when he's playing with everyone that's his age, he still does really well. The points per 60 and the points per game really add up when he's in the, anything where he's not being elevated to a men's league. It works out, and that's because the new scouting report on him is his 6 foot, 170-pound frame, pretty easy to push off the puck. So what you gotta hope is that the hockey smarts, the skills kind of catch up as his body catches up, right? Like he comes to the NHL and he's going to be beefing up, is what you'd hope, and not necessarily to some degree of Giovanni Smith, but they'll beef up to some extent and be more difficult to push off the puck. So there's your hope. But yeah, if you're still stuck on Brad, the chances of us having a chance at him have gone way up. But maybe everyone's desire to pick up Lambert might be shrinking a tidbit. Okay, so Tots, topic of the show, Tots. I like that. I stole it from Kind of Funny Games.
Oh, I was like, man, that's really clever, Matt. Oh.
They do this thing where they go Tots, and then they talk the topic of the show. I want to steal
Ours
it.
Could be topics in the show. No?
That didn't take me a beat. Yeah, let's do it, Mike. Our boy Matty Staff. He's one win away from the Super Bowl. 1 year removed. Not even a full year removed from wearing the Honolulu blue. He's almost in the Super Bowl. The argument I've made for my entire life has been this guy just needs to be on a good football team. Folks will tell you, Mike, that he has had good football teams in Detroit. And gosh darn it, Matthew just for some reason sucked then. Sure, that's fine. Anyway, we're going to play a game right now. Is the Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Red Wings, are they on this team now? Is there potential for one? Is there someone that fits the bill for being Matthew Stafford? And we're going to have fun with it. We don't want to be too down here, but you do have to accept, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a very good, I would say statistically, there's at least a chance that we're all kind of looking at this and going, well, 1 to 2 years, we'll be back in playoff contention. And then 2 to 3 years down the line from there, Stanley Cup contender, no problem. Very possible, Mike, that we get a string of draft picks that do not work out, and we're back to square one at some point. We've seen it happen here. We've in Detroit many a times. We're still trying to get the Pistons going, trying to get the Tigers restarted. Red Wings just happen to be the luckiest of all of them that they lasted in the playoffs the longest. But the Lions, of course, have been letting us down for decades. And squeaking into the playoffs once or twice, but still no Super Bowl. So I would even go as far to say, Mike, a team as successful as the Red Wings in the 90s and the 2000s, maybe is even due for some horrible bad luck for a long time. I mean, the hockey gods, if they exist, would look at us and say, yeah, that's your team. We gave them like 25 straight years of relevance. They could go for a couple of decades as sourpuss. So,
yeah.
All that being said, we thought we'd take a look at the Wingdings, and there could be an answer here, Mike, of no. Is there a Matthew Stafford on the Detroit Red Wings? The answer could be no. But Mike, do you want to run through our kind of list, or do you want me to run through what I typed up here? What we kind of decided on would be if we're looking for a Matthew Stafford, a potential Matthew Stafford.
I would say, I mean, the criteria. I think if you live in this town, you kind of know what we're getting at. I mean, it's a guy who is pretty polarizing. Definitely a guy at this point. I think it's objectively underappreciated, because if it takes one season of freedom to suddenly be a top playoff team in the entire league of football, they're doing something right. So I would say being a scapegoat. You still you also still have to be a pretty talented player. And seeing where Stafford is now, like he's the focal point of the Rams team. So I would say this is a pretty important player. Somebody underappreciated, definitely a scapegoat. Still statistically there, but they, my God, just that change of scenery, and suddenly they're having all this like meaningful success. So it's not just some regular season wins. Where Stafford did have a pretty good regular season. He's now got 2 playoff wins, and he's one more playoff win away from being in the goddamn Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know, Matt. I'm probably going to pitch it to you. Do you have a couple guys in mind that you would probably nominate for this?
Well, I think the conversation has to start with a move that happened last year. And I'm not saying this is the guy, like I have in mind, like this is the answer. But I think the conversation would have to start with Anthony Mantha. Was he someone, Mike, that you think now clearly, he went to Washington. He did not instantly win a Stanley Cup, but Washington's having a lot of success this year. I think if you looked at Ovechkin, and if he just keeps rolling right through into the playoffs with the same sort of success, there's a very good chance that you could see a cup raising from old Mantha. But to kind of take this to the next step, even if that did happen, does that put him on the Stafford level? Because he's not going to be putting up Ovechkin relevant numbers, right? And I wanted to put this out there too. He's been on IR since November 5th. So not even making a huge impact for the Capitals so far this year. I actually looked this up to see when he would be coming back, but I don't have anything on here from what I'm looking at on Hockey Reference. But that's where I wanted to start the conversation real quick.
Yeah, I think that one's kind of tough because I don't think we've ever seen seasons where Mantha's, Ben had like elongated, sustained success. And that's why he was an expendable asset for the Red Wings. I think as far as trying to nail down who would be the Stafford, I mean, as tongue-in-cheek as some people in this town have been, he still put up like pretty, significant historical, statistics, with his passing numbers in seasons. He put up really good touchdown numbers. So I think you want to be a little bit more productive. So Matt, I'm actually going to nominate a current Red Wing as our Matthew Stafford. If I may.
Can I throw this out there? Jared's putting this is actually kind of funny series of comments. Washington would have the same success without Mantha, and then he goes, "Damn, didn't even know he was injured." So that's pretty good. I mean, right on par, right there. But yeah, I think the conclusion to come to there is we can just cross Mantha off the list because I think we're all kind of thinking the same thing, where it's like the level of success is nowhere near where you'd want that to be to call some guy a Stafford. So where you have a guy in mind on this team,
yeah,
Mike, have at
it. Because I think there's some ne'er-do-wells statistically who haven't started performing yet, so I'm not ready to nominate them. But based on his, I'll say his, recent success last season when he went down, it was pretty noticeable. And when he's been healthy this season, when he's not missing games because we're north of the border, easily the best player on the Detroit Red Wings, Matt.
What are we talking about?
Give me Tyler Bertuzzi. Because every time there's a trade scenario and it involves somebody good, not just like a Brendan Perlini level acquisition. When we're talking about like a real trade, and the Red Wings potentially still being sellers, because this team is still missing a lot of depth. Bertuzzi still kind of feels underappreciated. This guy is like a borderline superstar where as much as I love Larkin, great, excellent leader. Yes, he's having an excellent scoring season. He probably is going to get like 40 goals this year. As far as somebody offensively talented enough to put an entire team on his shoulders, I think we have one guy who does that. And I feel like, he's not really talked about in Detroit very much. He's not beloved. I think if you talk to people who their favorite Red Wings are, if it's not Larkin, it's already the rookies. And I don't think there's a lot of love for Bertuzzi.
Can I fight you on that a little bit? Because I wanted to use that. I wanted to use that as the argument for your point. That I think there's people that will kill for Bertuzzi, and then there's the likes of us that throw him into every single trade proposal. So, what I mean to say is Bertuzzi might be the perfect answer because of that reason. Because there are folks that are still, Mike, combing the books as we speak, so that tomorrow morning their first tweet will be, Matthew Stafford, when he was a Detroit Lion, did this on this day, blah, 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 and that proves that he sucks. So somebody's doing that research right now. So to that end, I'm also like to the moon right now for Stafford. I could not be happier for the guy. And he tried so hard here. How many times was he out there with a separated shoulder or a broken bone to get a win for a city that he didn't even grow up in?
Yeah, remember those clips of him near a hot mic where he's moaning like a rabbit caught in a trap, wheezing, broken ribs, broken arm, no shoulder, broken neck, and he'd gotten so much grief because he responsibly skipped a game or two because he was hurt. And then so then we gave him a bunch of grief for it. So then he played as a wounded rabbit with broken ribs, broken arm. And Matt, my God, if we don't have viewership for this show, it's because the greatest AFC divisional game of all time is going on, and my Bills just took the lead.
Yeah, we should warn everybody. We have a hard stop in 9 minutes here. We're done. Jared says there's 13 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, my beautiful Bills just went like 70 yards for a touchdown.
Oh my
Josh
God.
Allen is up 2 now. They're going to kick an extra point, and then the Chiefs with 3 timeouts and 13 seconds left have to try and get a field goal, tie the game.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh, guess where Matt put his money on tonight?
No!
the
How
Chiefs.
could you, Matt? It was Stafford and Bill States. Michael's Super Bowl is coming to fruition. Finally. That's all I wanted.
I tried to put money down on the Rams, and DraftKings kept kicking me back, so I had to.
Oh,
I thought that was the shirt. I was like, all right, fine. You won't let me win money with the Rams. I'll put money on the Chiefs. Anyways, yeah, Jared's got the update. 37-33. Field goal won't cut it anymore.
woo-wee. Wow.
So, I mean, to get back to the topic here, I think the elements that you've discussed in regards to his talent and carrying a whole team, but I also think this element of there's so like it's
the polarizing public opinion.
Yes, polarizing. Thank you. Good God.
Yeah.
I was gonna fight my brain for that word so hard right now. I'm so tired. But yeah, the polarizing figure on a single team. You could see it in the tweets at the beginning of the season, and they've calmed down a little bit, and that's because of his success. But you know that if it was going the other way, it would be just as polarizing as it was at the beginning of the season. So that's a great pick. I think the more heartbreaking pick, and this is the name that popped in my head, and it comes along the lines of like, it'll probably be "What have you done for me lately?" And I think this is the only other name that really fits the bill. And I'll give a couple of quick shout outs here because you're not going to put Raymond on there. You're not going to
a name that fits the Buffalo Bill. Sorry, I'm just excited for my Bills. You're on a roll. I'm sorry.
That's good. I'm pretty happy for the Bills. I just thought I was making the right pick money wise. You can't pick Lucas Raymond. You can't pick Moritz Seider. It's just like there isn't enough there for you to say like they've carried the team one way or another for an extended period of time. You're not going to pick any of our goaltenders because that's a revolving door, and you're not picking any of the prospects because again that just doesn't fit the bill. So if you're not picking this guy, you're picking a guy that's played 13 games for us, or you're picking a guy that's going to be a free agent this season or next season and will be gone. So the only guy left is Dylan Larkin on this list. And the reason to talk about this, or maybe not the reason, but the storyline behind this is where this conversation becomes super heartbreaking, because if this does happen and Dylan Larkin becomes the Matthew Stafford of this team, carries the team for years, and at some point has dropped to become a pivotal figure on another team to win a championship or get close to one. Mike, things have gone so terribly wrong. They've gone wrong for Seider. They've gone wrong for Raymond. They've probably gone wrong for Edmondson. Nedeljkovic has completely flipped in his abilities. That's the end of the Iser plan. That's like, right. If things have gotten so rotten, if they've gone so terribly wrong that the conversation turns into, well, Dylan Larkin's not sticking around anymore. Because think about that. Dylan's got a new contract coming up in 2 years. There's nothing he's done right now that he could undo in the next 2 years to say he's not getting another contract. So that means for Larkin to become the Matthew Stafford of the Red Wings, we're going deep into his next contract. That means we're going 5 more years, 6 more years into the Iser plan before we bid him adieu. Mike, that would be the heartbreaking pick. Yours, I think, was the right pick. But the Larkin one would mean things have gone so terribly wrong, and it would be just god awful. Oh God, we'd have to start the conversations of Nick Lidstrom taking over for Stevie Y. It would be that horrid of, I don't know, half a decade or more.
Oof. Yeah, that would definitely be a worst case scenario. Yeah,
Jared apologizes. He was wrong. 36-33.
Yeah, field goal can still come and make this an overtime game for two really good teams. Oh my God,
it's not over.
They're in field goal range already with 3 seconds to go.
No timeout. All right. Well, I'm sure they'll be fine if we're a little under 30 minutes, right? So we can watch this.
We have to see this. This is going to be an incredible finish here.
Yeah, Mike, I'll sign off here. But yeah, we promised a really short episode, but we don't want to miss this Bills game. We had to get this conversation in.
Yeah, I mean, there's no trade rumors. There's barely any prospect news. The Red Wings, blew a couple of games. So we tried to figure out if there's anything kind of contemporary we could look at. As the Stafford comparison.
And quick shout out, Tristan's throwing out there, other than Larkin, he's throwing Gus Lindstrom in there. I think a lot of things have to go right for Gus to get to that level, but then you know what, Gus, if that happens, I think we could still be on the path to victory. But the things go right and then go.
Oh my God, we're going to overtime.
Yeah. Oh my God!
We'll see if we can stretch this for a few. We'll stretch it for a few more minutes here while overtime is getting together. The Gus pick, because there's a couple guys. If we went the Gus route, the reason I didn't pick somebody like that is we tried to find somebody who'd already had some statistical success.
Oh, Mike! Oh, you ready for this comment? I want you to read it.
Okay,
this will carry us. This will carry us to 30 minutes.
All right, I'm ready.
Adam Thomas.
See, that was gonna be my next one. Oh, I love that one, Adam. Yeah, that was gonna be my wild card. Adam Thomas, comment of the night. It's true. He's so underappreciated, man.
Tell everybody. What did Adam say?
He said Jeff Blashill is our Stafford. Wildly underappreciated. There's nobody more polarizing than Mr. Jeff Blashill.
Yes, Adam.
And no, he doesn't have, quite the, statistics, like we said was kind of a criteria. But as far as getting all the blame, and a guy who, at least on this show, we will stand on that hill and argue that there is talent in that bald head of his. Matt, when he had absolutely nothing, he taught this team to turtle, limit chances, and by God, maybe we'll win a few games 2-1 or 3-2. This year, he started to figure out, my God, we have a few talented players. We're going to open it up. The strategy on the ice changed. The lineups changed. He built a first line. He refused to boggle that one for a very long time until it absolutely had to become necessary. Matt, he's one of the wittier coaches that we've had. I feel like he's got a lot of smart things to say. I think he's got a full awareness of how bad this team still is. We'll call it, deodorant can be perspirant-free, Red Wings, depth-free, because there's not much beyond that first line. And goddamn it, Blashill is still finding ways to make this team 500, Matt. It's a team that overachieved for sure to start the season. Now things, statistically are starting to even back out. We're slowly going down the escalator down into the cellars of hell with the other bad teams in the league. But, the only reason we got up to that, second level of the mall was because of the efforts, the mind, the man that is Jeff Blashill.
What a way to end the show. Well, a couple more shout outs here.
Shout out to me for being really greased up today. I look like I was wearing a hockey helmet, playing a little beer league hockey. Nope, I just took a nap.
I thought you looked pretty good.
I just took a nap today.
Tristan says, look at Blashill's goalie stats. Oh, wait, don't do that. Vrana's Tristan's actual answer. Guy's going to carry our team to the second round next year, and we oust Toronto in 7 in the first.
It's not going to take 7 games for Toronto. Come on.
I think, Tristan, my only pause on Lindstrom and Vrana is just that we don't, like, for them to be the Stafford, they have to have, like a decade of, I would say, above average play And while Vrana has that, he's only been with us for the 13 games, and Lindstrom has been very steady, as you said, Tristan, but just not enough yet. So I like the answer for like 10 years down the road. But yeah, I gotta hand it to you, Adam. That is probably the best thing that could have happened out of this discussion, is you to mention Jeff Blashill. I absolutely love it.
You stole my thunder on that one. That was a great pick.
I hope that was the best way we could have taken this conversation for everyone, because my Dylan mention got super depressing. So I apologize for that. I'm pretty good at bringing the show down.
That was such a good pick. I like to think that was a Jeff Blashill burner account that logged into Red Wings Rant tonight. So, you know what? I'm the Stafford. Nobody gives me any goddamn credit in this town. It's true. But I would say the people giving the most pushback and being on his side are arguably the hosts of the show. Yeah, thank you, Adam.
All right, so with that, we're gonna watch this overtime. So we'll see you
also,
guys.
Breaking news, everybody. Michael's fantasy basketball team going up against a turd who picked up 5 peripheral New York Knicks just to get a marginal lead yesterday. I'm up by 40 with about 3/4 of basketball to play. I'm very excited, you guys. I know you're also very happy for me. But anyway, we got a Chiefs and Bills game to watch.
Yeah, keep Mike in your thoughts and prayers tonight, everyone.
It's not over, so I need all your positive vibes. Thank you, guys.
Here's the kickoff. Chiefs have the ball first. Mike, I have my money on the Chiefs, so this goes my way. I apologize you're not getting your Super Bowl, but I'm gonna be pretty happy. All right. So with that, everybody, sorry for the short episode. Stuff happened today that we had to start late, and of course, divisional round of playoffs here, kind of cutting it short.
It happens. Yeah.
We'll have to plan better for next week. But everybody, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys Wednesday night. Toodaloo.